Hello everybody, welcome back to BDM English. In a series of videos, I am going to discuss a sentence with one subject and one finite verb. It is the simplest form of sentence. It is the basic standard sentence with the help of which we can point out different features of the sentence and their functions. In the first video, sentence part number 1, I am discussing what a sentence is. Its two divisions, the subject and the predicate, and how the subject can be expanded by using different kinds of modifiers. So let us first know what a sentence is. When we speak about, that is, we say something about a person, an animal, a plant, an inanimate object, or anything else. Henceforth in the series, we will refer to a human being as a person and to an animal, a plant, an object, or anything else as thing. Before we say something, we first choose or select the person or the thing about whom or what we want to say something. That chosen person or thing about whom or what we want to say something is our subject. Then choosing the subject. After choosing the subject, we proceed to the next part of the sentence. To complete the sentence, that it can express a clear and complete meaning. What we say about the subject is our predicate. About whom or what we say something is our subject, and what we say about the subject is the predicate. And these two are grammatically interrelated, closely interrelated, and the two together makes a complete self-contained whole. The words in a sentence are grammatically arranged. Thus, when the subject and the predicate combine, makes a complete self-contained whole and expresses a complete meaning, we call it a sentence. Therefore, a sentence is a grammatically arranged set or series of words containing a subject and a predicate, which together can express a clear meaning complete in itself. Let us take this example. I first choose the subject, children. I want to say something about the children. And then I decide on our main function, one of the activities of children, one of the favorite activities of the children to play. And I place the verb play here after the subject. This very short series of words comprising only two can express a clear meaning. Children play expresses a clear meaning. I say clear enough to be called a sentence. Clear enough in the sense that we can extend the predicate by using different words and phrases. We can say, children play in the park in the afternoon. Children play in the park. We can further extend the predicate in the afternoon, etc. Now, then the two divisions of the sentence are, first the subject that we choose before proceeding to complete the sentence. The subject about whom or what we say something, and then the predicate, that is the part in which we say something about the subject. Now let us see how the subject can be extended by using different kinds of modifiers. A modifier is a word that qualifies a noun, that adds extra information to the noun and thus restricts the meaning of the noun. Let us add the adjective healthy to the noun children. Healthy children play. When we say healthy children, we exclude many other children who are not healthy and so they do not usually play. Therefore, the modifier healthy restricts or limits the meaning of the noun children. Adjectives are the most widely used modifiers. We can also use articles to restrict the meaning of a noun. The child drew the picture. The child drew the picture. The child drew the picture. Here we refer to a definite child, the child known to the speaker and to the hearer. Otherwise, we could not use the definite article the. If we use an indefinite article a or an, we do not refer to any specific person. A boy means anyone, any boy, unknown to the speaker and to the hearer. A possessive can also be used as a modifier. It can also restrict or limit the meaning of the noun used as the subject. His phone has been lost. His phone has been lost. The possessive his clearly shows that the phone belonged to him and to nobody else. Thus, a possessive also restricts the meaning of a noun, whether it is used as a subject or it is placed in any other position in a sentence. The second category of modifiers comprises nouns. Let us touch on the different positions of a noun in a sentence. Let us here discuss only 4 positions, and there are other positions of a noun too in a sentence that we will discuss later. The first position of a noun in a sentence is that of a subject. In this sentence, the noun children is the subject of the sentence. Here the child, the singular child, is the subject of the sentence. Here the singular noun phone is the subject of the sentence. So nouns are mostly used as subjects of different sentences. But it can also be used, it is also used as the object of transitive verbs. Draw is a transitive verb because it requires an object to complete the predicate, to complete the minimum length of the predicate. And here the picture is the object of the verb to draw. Therefore, the second most important position of a noun in a sentence is that of an object of a transitive verb. The third most common position of a noun in a sentence is here, in this phrase, in the part, when it is preceded by a preposition. And then the noun is called the object of the preposition. In the park in the afternoon. In this way, we can make phrase after phrase to extend the predicate that we will discuss later in successive videos. The fourth position of a noun is that of a modifier. A noun can qualify another noun and thus restrict its meaning. School children are returning home. School children are returning home. By adding the noun school to the plural noun children, we limit the number of children. We exclude many other children who do not or cannot go to school to acquire education. Here we are speaking of those children only who are lucky enough to go to school to acquire education. Thus, this noun also functions as a modifier and restricts or limits the meaning of the noun that it qualifies. The third category of modifiers comprises gerunds. A gerund is a verb form. We get it by adding ing to the base form of the verb. It is partly a verb because it is a verb form and partly a noun. So it is a verb and noun combined. That is why it is also called a verbal noun. It loses some characteristics of the verb and acquires some characteristics of the noun. Anyway, as a noun, it can be placed in different positions that a noun can be in a sentence. For example, it can be used as the subject of a sentence just like a noun can be. The difference between a noun and a gerund is that a noun is a pure noun. It is an original noun. It evolved in the language as a noun. Child, phone, etc., picture. But a gerund is a half noun and half verb. Still, as a noun, it can be placed in different positions in a sentence that a noun can be. So, we can use a gerund as the subject of a sentence. Walking gives good health. Walking gives good health. The subject of this sentence is the ing verb form walking, and to be used as a subject, the position of the subject can be occupied only by a noun or a noun equivalent such as a pronoun, a gerund, etc. Therefore, the ing verb form walking here is a verbal noun, a gerund. We can place it in the position of the object. We can use it as the object of a transitive verb like the picture here. I like walking. I like walking. Walking is the object of the verb to like. Therefore, walking in this sentence, I like walking, is obviously a gerund. It can be also placed after some preposition, as we have placed here. My friend is fond of driving. My friend is fond of driving. So, driving here in this sentence, my friend is fond of driving, is obviously a gerund or verbal noun. We can place a gerund in the fourth position of a noun, that is, in the position of a modifier. This is the fourth position of a noun that it can qualify another noun. As a noun, a gerund can also modify a noun. His walking stick has broken. His walking stick has broken. Here, walking stick means the stick for walking. So here too, the ing verb form is a gerund. As a gerund, as a noun, it qualifies the noun stick. The fourth category of modifiers is comprised of present participles. We get the present participle of a verb in the same way as we get its gerund. That is by adding ing to the base form of the verb. So driving, surfing, flying, walking, etc. can be used both as a gerund and as a present participle. That is why we cannot say just by looking at the spelling of a verb with an ing whether it is a gerund or a present participle. We have to place it in a sentence and analyze its function. If an ing verb form is placed in a position of a noun in a sentence, it is obviously a verbal noun, and otherwise it is not a gerund. Let us look at this sentence. The flying eagle swooped down on the rabbit. The flying eagle swooped down on the rabbit. Yeah, the flying eagle means the eagle which was flying. Obviously, the act of flying was being performed by the eagle. So, the eagle is actually, in fact, the doer or agent of the verb to fly. The eagle was flying. So, to be used as a modifier, the present participle can modify only its own doer or agent. There is no such condition of a gerund. A gerund can be used in a general sense, as in this sentence, walking gives good health. We need not mention the doer. We cannot mention the doer here. But while an ing form is used as a present participle modifier, we must place the original doer or agent of the verb as near as possible to it. Flying eagle. And without the word eagle in this sentence, we cannot use the ing verb form flying. That is an unavoidable condition for a present participle to be used as a modifier. And this condition is not there at all in the case of a gerund. The fifth category of modifiers consists of past participles. Let us take this example. The stolen car. The stolen car has been recovered. The stolen car has been recovered. The stolen car means the car which had been stolen, which some thief had stolen. Some thief had stolen the car. So obviously the car here is the object, the original object of the verb to steal. Somebody had stolen the car. Therefore, as a modifier, a past participle can qualify its own original object and none else. Therefore, to be used as a modifier, the past participle of a verb, if we want to use the past participle of a verb as a modifier, there must be its original object present in the sentence as close as possible to the past participle. And one point, as the past participle qualifies its own original object, the verb from which the past participle is conjugated must be a transitive verb. We know that only transitive verbs require, transitive verbs take objects. Therefore, the past participles of transitive verbs only can be used as modifiers because each of the past participle of a transitive verb qualifies its own original object. There are some exceptions. We will discuss it later in relevant chapter. That is the difference between the present participle and the past participle. The present participle qualifies its own doer and the past participle qualifies its own object. You know that these two participles are widely used in the structures of different voice tense combinations. I use the term voice tense combination because in a finite verb, the voice and tense are inseparably blended. One cannot be separated from the other. The child drew the picture. This single verb form, the past tense form, shows that the sentence is in the past simple tense and at the same time it is in the active voice. Similarly, this verb form has been lost, shows that it is in the perfect tense and in the passive voice. So, in each and every finite verb form that we place after the subject to complete the predicate and so to complete the sentence, contains in it both the tense and the voice, and we cannot separate, we cannot isolate one from the other. So I will be using this expression in many future lessons, voice tense combination, and I will discuss them in detail. I will discuss them exhaustively in chapters, the tenses and the voice. We see that mostly the nouns are used as subjects. But if we make a series of sentences on a single subject, we usually do not repeat the noun. We use pronoun. We use a pronoun in place of a noun in successive sentences. And from time to time, we repeat the noun. Healthy children play in the park. They go to the park in the afternoon. They play there throughout the afternoon. They return home. The children return home when the evening falls. That is the pattern. First we use the noun, then in 2 or 3 sentences we use the relevant pronoun, and then we again use the noun. In this way we proceed and make a number of sentences to make a paragraph, to write an essay, etc. In my next video, I will discuss how the subject controls or governs the verb on 2 important points of grammar. Until then, by expecting to meet you in my next video, which will be a short video on vocabulary and pronunciation. And after that, I will upload another video on grammar sentence part 2. In this way, we will move forward. For the time being, I will follow this pattern. One video on grammar and the next one on pronunciation and vocabulary.